Okay, so we're diving into something um, a little bit, I guess, unsettling for a lot of folks out there.
Yeah.
The layoff era for product managers.
Uh-huh.
And we've got a ton of material here that you guys have sent in, articles and reports, even some internal memos, and it does paint a pretty kind of intense picture.
Yeah.
We've got tech layoffs making headlines, AI disrupting
Yeah.
everything. It's a little freaky out there, and people are like, what does this mean for my career?
Yeah, and what's so fascinating is that, amidst all this talk about all these layoffs and the anxiety around that, the overall tech job market is actually still really strong.
Right?
We're looking at unemployment rates for tech workers around 2.5%,
Well,
which is incredibly low, and the Bureau of Labor Statistics is projecting something like 13% growth in IT jobs by 2026. So it's a little bit of a paradox.
yeah, it's like one of those optical illusions, right?
Right.
The big picture looks fine,
Exactly.
but then you zoom in on certain spots and things get a
Mhm.
little...
Yeah, a little wobbly, a little
Yeah.
fuzzy.
So how do we like reconcile this seemingly strong job market with this like very real fear that I think a lot of product managers are feeling right now?
Yeah, well, this is where it gets really interesting
Okay.
because the reports that we've analyzed and the articles that we've dug into suggest that this isn't just some kind of random culling of tech workers.
Right.
It's not just like across the board, everybody's getting, X
Yeah.
percentage of their workforce laid off. It seems to be a much more strategic realignment.
Okay.
What one article called the Great Rationalization.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. So you've got companies like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, even smaller startups streamlining their operations, restructuring,
Right.
and most importantly, shifting their focus and resources towards AI.
Okay, so it's not just about cutting costs.
Right.
It's about repositioning for the future, and that future is looking pretty AI heavy.
Exactly. It's about investing in the areas that they see as having the greatest potential for growth and innovation moving forward.
So is this like the core of what's defining this layoff era that we keep hearing about?
I think so. I think that's a really good way to put it. It's this combination of factors.
Right.
The economic uncertainty, the rapid advancements in AI,
Mhm.
and this strategic shift that companies are making that really creates this sense of unease
And opportunity.
and opportunity.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so for product managers, what does this mean?
Well, it means that the old playbook might not cut it anymore.
Okay.
The skills and experience that were once, guarantees of success are being challenged.
Like what?
Well, we're seeing AI experience shooting to the top of the list
Okay.
as companies race to integrate AI into their products and processes.
Hmm.
They're looking for product managers who can lead that charge.
So let me ask you this. If I'm like a product manager with a more traditional background,
Right.
should I be like hitting the panic button right now?
I don't think panning is ever helpful,
Okay.
but strategic action is, and all the reports that we've looked at really emphasize upskilling.
Right.
You don't have to become a data scientist overnight,
Right.
but you do need to start understanding the potential of AI, how it's impacting product development, and how you can leverage it to create better products and experiences.
Okay. So start learning, right?
Exactly.
But it's not just the product managers who are kind of freaking out right now.
Right.
There's like this broader fear that AI is going to automate away a bunch of jobs.
Yeah.
And some of these articles highlighted like customer support roles,
Right.
lower level development jobs being particularly vulnerable.
Yeah. That's a valid concern, and it's not a new one.
Right.
I mean, we saw similar anxieties with, the rise of automation in manufacturing. And,
Right.
and yes, some tasks will inevitably be automated.
Right.
But that doesn't mean the jobs themselves disappear. It's more about a shift in the skills required.
Right. So someone still needs to design and build and manage those AI systems.
Absolutely. And this is where product managers can really shine.
Right.
They can bridge that gap between human expertise and AI capabilities,
Hmm.
ensuring that technology enhances rather than replaces human ingenuity.
Right. So instead of being afraid of it, figure out how to use it.
Exactly. See it as an opportunity to level up your skill set and become even more valuable to your organization.
Speaking of valuable and organizations, one thing that kept popping up in these articles was this renewed focus on financial success.
Right.
It feels like the days of growth at all costs are over.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say.
So is this another kind of defining characteristic of this layoff era that we're in?
Absolutely. The reports are pretty consistent on this.
Okay.
Companies are demanding that product managers demonstrate a clear link between their work and revenue generation or cost savings.
So it's not enough to just build a cool product.
No, you need to prove its financial viability.
Okay, so how do you actually do that? Like how can product managers effectively showcase that impact?
Yeah, well, one thing we saw in Bridgeview's 2025 Technology Salary Guide was that roles like Agile Coach and Product Management Director are commanding some pretty impressive salaries.
Yeah.
So that suggests that experienced leadership and the ability to navigate complex projects are still highly sought after.
Okay.
But beyond just the title and the salary,
Right.
it's about being able to articulate how your work has contributed to the bottom line.
Okay.
So can you quantify how your product decisions have increased revenue or decreased costs? Can you make a compelling case for new product development based on solid financial projections?
So it's almost like product managers need to become fluent in the language of business.
Right.
It's not just about user stories and product features anymore. It's about understanding
Yes.
and speaking to the financial implications of their decisions.
You're spot on. And that actually brings us to another interesting point.
Okay.
The evolving role of the product manager itself.
Right.
You know, we're seeing a trend towards more specialized roles emerging within the field, especially as AI becomes more integrated into businesses.
Oh, that is interesting.
Yeah, so what are some examples of these new specialized product management roles that we might be seeing in this layoff era?
Well, one that's becoming increasingly common is the AI product manager.
Okay.
Someone who focuses specifically on how AI can be used to enhance products and processes. They're not necessarily data scientists themselves,
Right.
but they understand the potential of AI and can work closely with technical teams to bring AI-powered solutions to life.
So they're like translators almost.
Right.
Bridging that gap between the technical world of AI and the business needs of the product.
Exactly. And then we're also seeing a rise in demand for growth product managers.
Okay.
People who are laser focused on user acquisition and engagement. They live and breathe data analytics, A/B testing, and those growth hacking techniques
Right.
that can quickly scale a product's user base. So they're the ones who can turn a good product into like a viral sensation,
Exactly.
the must-have app that everybody's talking about.
Yeah, they understand user behavior, identify growth opportunities, and implement strategies to rapidly expand the product's reach.
Wow.
And then there's the technical product manager,
Okay.
who has a strong engineering background and can work closely with development teams to translate product requirements into technical specifications.
So they're the bridge between the product vision
Yes,
and the technical execution.
exactly.
That sounds like a role that requires a very unique blend of both technical and business acumen.
Absolutely. And as technology continues to evolve at this unprecedented pace, having a strong understanding of the technical underpinnings of your product is essential.
Okay, so we've got AI product managers, growth product managers,
Right.
technical product managers. Are there any other kind of specialized roles emerging in this layoff era?
Yeah, we can't forget about the data product manager, who is essentially responsible for managing and leveraging data to inform product decisions. They're skilled in data analysis, visualization, and storytelling, extracting meaning from complex data sets,
Right.
and presenting those findings in a way that's clear, concise, and compelling to stakeholders.
So it's not just about crunching numbers. It's about being able to tell the story behind the data.
Exactly. Make it resonate with stakeholders and drive decision-making.
Okay.
And this ability to communicate effectively, to translate complex information into a clear and compelling narrative is essential for any product manager, regardless of their area of specialization.
Right.
Especially in a landscape where demonstrating value is more critical than ever.
We've talked about AI, we've talked about financial impact,
Right.
these new specialized product management roles emerging.
Yeah.
What other key trends are impacting product managers in this layoff era?
But one trend that's been accelerated by the pandemic and shows no signs of slowing down is the rise of remote work.
Oh yeah, the remote work revolution. It's definitely having a profound impact on how we work, collaborate,
Yeah.
manage teams. And I imagine it's presenting some unique challenges for product managers.
Indeed, leading and managing teams remotely requires a different skill set. You know, you can't just walk down the hall to check in on someone or have an impromptu brainstorming session.
Right.
Product managers need to be more deliberate about communication scheduling, regular check-ins, and utilizing collaboration tools effectively to maintain team cohesion and productivity.
It's all about being intentional, right?
Exactly.
Creating a virtual work environment that fosters communication, collaboration,
Yes.
and a sense of community, even when team members are geographically dispersed.
Well said. And that actually ties into another significant trend, the rise of the gig economy.
Oh, the gig economy. How's that impacting product managers specifically?
Well, we're seeing more and more companies turning to freelance and contract workers to fill specialized roles,
Okay.
including product management. This can be a great way to access top talent on a project basis.
Right.
But it also requires a different approach to managing teams and workflows.
So it's all about flexibility and adaptability.
Exactly.
Being able to quickly assemble and manage teams of experts regardless of their location or employment status.
Precisely. This means product managers need to be adept at onboarding new team members quickly,
Right.
setting clear expectations and establishing communication protocols that work for everyone regardless of their location or work schedule.
So we've got remote work and the gig economy kind of adding another layer of complexity to this layoff era for product managers.
Yeah.
It seems like adaptability and flexibility are really key to not just surviving,
Right.
but thriving in this environment.
Absolutely. And that leads us to another important aspect of this new landscape, the increasing emphasis on employee well-being and mental health.
This is something I'm really glad to see getting more attention these days.
Yeah.
You know, the tech industry in particular has a reputation for long hours burnout
Right.
and a culture of hustle that can be unsustainable, especially in a climate of uncertainty and change.
You're absolutely right, and it's unsustainable for both individuals and organizations.
Right.
Companies are realizing that their most valuable asset is their people, and that investing in employee well-being is not just the right thing to do.
Yeah.
It's also good for business.
Right.
We're seeing more companies offering benefits like mental health resources, flexible work arrangements, and paid time off
Okay.
to encourage employees to take breaks and recharge.
It's about recognizing that people are not machines.
Exactly.
And that to perform at their best, they need to feel supported, valued, and empowered to prioritize their well-being.
Well said, and this focus on well-being actually ties into a larger trend of reevaluating not just how we work, but why we work.
That's a great point. This layoff era seems to be prompting a lot of introspection,
Yeah,
both on an individual and an organizational level.
absolutely.
You know, people are asking themselves, what's the purpose of my work?
Right.
What values am I trying to live by? How can I create a work environment that is both challenging and fulfilling?
Yes, and those are important questions to be asking ourselves.
For sure.
This era is challenging us to think deeply about what we want from our careers and how we can align our work with our values and aspirations.
So amidst all the challenges and anxieties of this layoff era,
Right.
there's also a sense of opportunity,
Yeah,
a chance to reassess and redefine what success looks like,
I agree.
both individually and collectively.
It's a time of great upheaval, but also a time of great potential.
Mm.
By embracing the changes, by engaging in these critical conversations,
Right.
and by working together to create a more human-centered future of technology,
Yeah.
we can navigate this era with wisdom, compassion, and a sense of purpose.
So much to think about. I feel like we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive into the layoff era for product managers.
We have.
You know, we explored how AI is reshaping the landscape,
Yeah.
how the focus on financial success is intensifying,
Right.
how new specialized roles are emerging,
Uh-huh.
and how trends like remote work and the gig economy are adding another layer of complexity.
It's a lot to process.
It is.
But we've also discussed the importance of adaptability communication skills and a focus on employee well-being as crucial for navigating this new terrain.
Yeah. So where do we go from here?
Well, in the next part of our deep dive, I think it would be helpful to explore some specific strategies and tactics that product managers can implement
I agree.
to not only survive, but thrive in this evolving landscape.
Yeah, let's get tactical.
Let's do it.
All right, we'll delve into some actionable advice, practical tips, and real-world examples of how product managers are successfully navigating the layoff era. Stay tuned.
Looking forward to it. All right, so you're a product manager in this layoff era, right?
Yeah.
You've heard the warnings, you've felt the tremors,
Right.
and you're ready to like take action.
Okay, yeah.
So the question is,
Yeah.
what specific steps can you take to not just survive, but actually thrive in this new reality?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah.
We've talked about all this stuff, you know, upskilling in AI, demonstrating financial impact,
Right.
adapting to remote work and the gig economy.
Yeah.
But, like, what does that actually look like in practice? What are some tangible steps that product managers can take, like today,
Yeah.
to make themselves indispensable in this job market?
Okay, well, one of the most crucial things I think you can do is become like a master of quantifying your impact.
Hmm.
So, In the past, it might have been enough to just ship a great product and get good user feedback.
Right.
But in this layoff era, companies are laser focused on the bottom line.
Okay.
So you need to be able to demonstrate how your work is directly contributing to revenue generation, cost savings, or improved efficiency.
So it's not enough to just talk about features and user stories anymore.
No.
You have to be able to speak the language of business impact.
Exactly. Every product decision you make, every feature you launch,
Yeah.
it should be tied to measurable business outcomes. Can you prove how your work has increased customer lifetime value?
Yeah.
Have you reduced customer churn?
Mm-hmm.
Can you quantify the ROI of a new product line?
Yeah.
These are the kinds of metrics that will get you noticed and make you stand out in this competitive landscape.
So start thinking like a business owner,
Yes.
not just a product builder.
Yeah.
Track those metrics,
Yeah.
gather that data, and be ready to present a compelling case for how your work is driving financial success for the company.
Exactly.
Okay, what else?
What else? Well, another important strategy is to really focus on building a personal brand that showcases your adaptability.
Okay.
So highlight projects where you've had to learn new skills, quickly pivot strategies based on market changes,
Right.
or lead through periods of uncertainty.
And this kind of goes back to what we were talking about before with the career jungle gym.
Yeah.
It's not just about the titles you've held, it's about the challenges you've overcome,
Right.
the lessons you've learned along the way.
Exactly. Companies are looking for people who are agile, resilient, and can thrive in a fast-paced, ever-changing environment.
So make sure your resume, your LinkedIn profile, your portfolio, all of it tells that story of adaptability.
Yes, tell the story.
Okay, so we've got quantifying impact, showcasing adaptability. What other practical steps can product managers take to kind of navigate this layoff era?
Well, don't underestimate the power of networking.
Okay.
Attend industry events, connect with people on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
reach out to people you admire for informational interviews.
Right.
Seek out mentors who can provide guidance and support.
It's interesting. We saw a lot of articles that really emphasize this point about networking,
Yeah.
particularly in a volatile job market like this.
Yeah, it's more important than ever.
It seems like building and nurturing those relationships is absolutely critical.
It is, because having a strong network can open doors to new opportunities, provide valuable insights and advice,
Yeah.
and help you stay ahead of the curve in terms of industry trends and best practices.
So build your network, nurture those relationships, and don't be afraid to ask for help or advice when you need it.
Exactly.
Okay.
And while we're talking about practical steps,
Yeah.
we can't forget about the importance of salary negotiation.
Okay.
You know, in this era, you can't just accept the first offer that comes your way.
Right.
Knowing your market value is essential.
Yeah, there was a lot of discussion about salary negotiation in the materials you sent us.
Yeah, and for good reason.
It seems like you really have to advocate for yourself and make sure you're being compensated fairly in this climate.
Use resources like Bridgeview's Salary Guide Pay Scale and Glassdoor to research salary trends for your role and your location. Be prepared to articulate your value, highlight your accomplishments,
Okay.
and negotiate confidently and professionally.
All right, so we've got quantifying impact, building a brand of adaptability, networking strategically, and negotiating skillfully.
Yes,
Those are some solid action steps.
I think so.
But beyond those practicalities, what about mindset shifts? What mindset shifts do you think are most important for product managers to kind of embrace in this era?
Well, one of the most crucial, I think, is shifting from a product-centric to a customer-centric perspective. In a world where AI can automate so many tasks,
Right.
the human touch becomes even more valuable.
Okay.
So focus on deeply understanding your customers' needs, building empathy, and creating products that genuinely solve their problems.
So in a way, this layoff era is actually pushing us back to the fundamentals of good product management.
I think that's a great way to put it.
It's about solving real problems for real people.
Exactly. Technology is a tool.
Right.
And the best products are the ones that are designed with a deep understanding of the humans they're meant to serve.
It makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
What other kind of mindset shifts do you think are important?
Another crucial one is from fear to curiosity.
Okay.
It's easy to get caught up in all the anxiety of layoffs and economic uncertainty. But if you can shift your perspective to one of curiosity, you'll be much better equipped to adapt and thrive.
So instead of worrying about what you might lose,
Yes.
focus on what you can learn, how you can grow.
Embrace the changes happening around you. Be curious about AI and its potential. And see this era as an opportunity to learn, grow, and reinvent yourself.
So it's about choosing to see this as a time of possibility,
Yeah.
a chance to explore new paths and discover new strengths.
I love that.
Okay.
And lastly, remember that you're not alone in this.
Hmm.
Connect with other product managers, share your experiences,
Yeah.
support each other, and build a community of resilience and shared learning.
That's such a great point because it can feel really isolating,
Yeah.
especially with remote work being so prevalent.
Right.
But by coming together, by sharing our knowledge and supporting each other,
Yes.
we can navigate this new landscape with greater confidence and purpose.
Absolutely. And remember, even in the midst of disruption, there are always opportunities for those who are willing to adapt, learn, and evolve.
Well said. It seems like we're kind of reaching this point where the lines between the traditional roles of product manager, data analyst, and business strategist are blurring.
That's a really keen observation.
Yeah.
And it speaks to the core of what this layoff era is demanding of product managers.
Oh.
You know, they need to be more than just product experts. They need to be data savvy,
Right.
business-minded, and adaptable leaders who can guide their teams and their products through this period of rapid transformation.
So as we move into like the final part of our deep dive, I'm curious to explore this idea a little bit further.
Okay.
How can product managers kind of embrace these evolving roles and position themselves as like truly indispensable leaders in this new era of technology?
That's a great question and one that we'll delve into in our final segment. Stay tuned.
Okay, so we've talked about this changing landscape for product managers, right? The importance of adaptability. We've even touched on some practical steps to take.
Right.
But now I'm curious, like, what does it actually look like to thrive in this layoff era? You know, it feels like we're almost on the verge of a pretty fundamental shift in what it means to be a product manager.
Yeah, I think you're hitting the nail on the head here. The layoff era isn't just about surviving. It's about redefining what success looks like for product managers.
Okay.
And we've seen this pattern throughout history, right?
Right.
New technology emerges, industries are disrupted, and the roles that were once secure evolve or even disappear. Think about the impact of the printing press on scribes,
Okay.
or the automobile on blacksmiths.
So you're saying the product manager role as we know it
Right.
might be undergoing a similar transformation.
In a way, yes, but it's not necessarily about the role disappearing. It's about the skills and the mindset required to excel in that role, changing dramatically.
Okay, so how can product managers embrace this transformation and kind of position themselves as the leaders of this new era?
Well, one crucial aspect, I think, is becoming fluent in the language of data.
Okay.
You know, it's no longer enough to just have a gut feeling about what users want.
Right.
Or what features will succeed. You need to be able to back up your decisions with data, analyze trends, and identify opportunities using the tools and technologies that are available.
And this really connects back to what we were talking about earlier with that AI product manager role emerging.
Right.
It seems like understanding data and being comfortable with AI tools are becoming like essential skills for any product manager,
Absolutely.
regardless of their specific focus.
Yeah, the ability to gather, analyze, and interpret data.
Right.
To inform your product strategy and decision-making. That's becoming a core competency for product managers in this layoff era.
So brush up on those data analysis skills, get familiar with AI tools, and be prepared to back up your product decisions with hard evidence, not just intuition. Okay, what else?
Well, another crucial aspect is developing a deep understanding of business strategy and financial modeling.
Okay.
You need to be able to think like a CEO, understanding the financial implications of your product decisions and how those decisions contribute to the overall success of the company.
So it's not just about building a great product anymore. It's about building a product that makes financial sense
Yes.
and aligns with the strategic goals of the business.
Exactly. And this means understanding things like revenue models, pricing strategies, cost optimization,
Okay.
and how to develop a compelling business case that will get buy-in from stakeholders.
So become like a mini MBA within your product team.
Right.
Learn the language of business, understand the financial levers, and be able to make the case for your product in a way that resonates with the decision makers.
I love it.
All right, what else?
Well, communication skills are more important than ever.
Okay.
As product teams become more distributed with remote workers and freelancers, you need to be able to communicate your vision effectively, build consensus, and manage expectations across multiple stakeholders.
And this makes a lot of sense given what we talked about earlier about remote work and the gig economy adding that layer of complexity.
Right.
clear and concise communication is essential when you're not always interacting face-to-face.
It's absolutely critical. And it's not just about being able to write a good email
Right.
or present a clear slide deck.
Yeah.
It's about active listening, conflict resolution, and the ability to build strong relationships with your team members, even when you're not physically in the same room.
So these essential human skills,
Yeah.
the kind that AI can't replicate, those are becoming even more valuable
Yes.
in this increasingly digital world.
Absolutely. And this actually ties into another crucial aspect of thriving in this layoff era,
Okay.
embracing a mindset of continuous learning and adaptability.
We've talked about this a lot, but it seems like it's worth emphasizing again. What does continuous learning actually look like for a product manager in this rapidly changing environment?
Well, it's about being curious,
Okay.
being willing to experiment, and being comfortable with not always having all the answers. It's about seeking out new information,
Right.
learning new skills,
Right.
and staying ahead of the curve in terms of industry trends and technological advancements.
So read those industry blogs, attend those webinars,
Yeah.
take those online courses, and never stop asking questions.
Exactly. The moment you become complacent, the moment you think you know everything, is the moment you start falling behind.
Yeah, this layoff era seems to be forcing a shift from a know-it-all mentality to a learn-it-all approach.
I love it. That's a great way to put it. And it ties into another important mindset shift.
Correct.
From fear to opportunity. It's easy to get caught up in the anxieties of this era, right?
Right.
Worry about job security and the future of the industry.
Yeah.
But if you can shift your perspective to see this as a time of immense opportunity, you'll be much better positioned to thrive.
So it's about choosing to focus on the possibilities, not the limitations.
Exactly. The layoff era is shaking things up, disrupting the status quo, and forcing us to rethink everything we thought we knew about work and careers. But within that disruption lies incredible potential for innovation, creativity, and personal growth.
So what does this all mean for the product managers listening to this deep dive? What's like the one key takeaway they should walk away with?
The key takeaway is this: the layoff era is not the end of product management.
Right.
It's the beginning of a new chapter. It's a chapter that demands adaptability, resilience, and a willingness to embrace change.
Right.
It's a chapter that rewards those who are data-savvy, business-minded, and deeply connected to their customers.
It's a chapter that might feel a little daunting,
Yeah,
but it's also full of exciting possibilities for those who are ready to step up and lead.
exactly. And remember, you don't have to navigate this new landscape alone. Connect with your fellow product managers, build your network, and support each other. The future of product management is in your hands.
Well said. So it's not just about surviving the layoff era.
Right.
It's about thriving in it.
Yes.
It's about embracing the challenges as opportunities for growth and using this time of disruption to redefine what it means to be a successful product manager in this new era of technology.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us, and thank you all for listening to this deep dive into the layoff era for product managers. We'll catch you next time.